Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to a Fresh Stories book chat, which is one of my favorite things we do here at Fresh Starts. We are here today with an author, Alison. Alison, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, great to join you, Olivia. My name is Alison Van Diggelen, and I'm author of The Love Project. And it's a book about finding love, making love last, and it's full of stories of courageous people. And prior to that, I've been a journalist with the BBC and many other media outlets.
This sounds amazing. And I said to Alison before we started chatting, Alison came to us via another podcast guest. So I didn't have time to do my usual read of the book before she came on. And so I would really love to know, Alison, first of all, where did the concept come from for this particular book? Is this your first book?
It's my first book, yes. So it actually started in a dark place. I had a horrible, violent encounter with a dog while hiking in Mexico, and it really broke me open. It made me question everything. And shortly after that, I saw that my mom, who'd been a widow for 20 years, found love.
Hmm.
And when I saw how love had transformed her, I thought to myself, I bet there are some amazing love stories, stories of courage and fresh starts in this
Yeah.
new community I moved to in Carmel by the Sea. So I went looking as a journalist for love stories, uplifting, gritty, real love stories. And I found some amazing people, ordinary people with remarkable stories.
I love that. I love that. I'm a romantic at heart. And I think it's so important to hear those stories because it gives hope, right, for so many people. So, how did you embark on even finding the people to talk to?
My secret ingredient was a dog. At that time, I had a beautiful dog. He was 16, named Mookie. He's since passed. He lived to 18. But I went walking around my neighborhood. This was during COVID or shortly after COVID, the lockdown. We'd moved to this new community. And as I say, I was looking for love stories. And I just started talking to people on street corners everywhere I went with my dog, yoga class, the post office, everywhere shopping, and with this big radar looking for love stories. And when I say love stories, it's not just the romantic love stories; it's every kind of love you can imagine: platonic love, filial love, gay love, trans love, every kind of
Hmm.
definition of love, even love for a dog, love for a
Yep.
place. And before I knew it, I had this collection of incredible stories, and if any of your listeners are feeling they're alone in whatever they're going through, I would highly encourage them to read The Love Project. I have 30 amazing love stories. And as I say, gritty stuff. It's not all romantic, sweet love. These are people that have overcome challenges in their life. The key thing is all of them are uplifting in one way or another. And they're stories of betrayal, of resentment, of
Mm.
regret, of love late in life. One woman, a divorcee, she found this man when she was volunteering and she was just so attracted to him. She went up to him and said, "How about one last affair in your 80s?" And so this is an ongoing
Love it.
affair. So the key thing is, and another woman found love by a correspondence. She
Mm.
started a correspondence with a man in San Quentin jail. He was on death row, and they actually ended up getting married. It's an
Wow.
incredible
Wow.
story. So all these stories are uplifting in one way or another, and I feel very lucky that these people shared their intimate stories with me, and this collection has sparked so much positive reaction from readers. I'm just awed
Yeah.
by the reaction it's had. I think right now it's so timely. There's so much hate in the world and division that this book is filling people up with the fact that we have more in common than we have that divides us, and love is there and love is powerful.
Yeah. It's a very, very powerful energy. It's the most powerful energy. So, as a writer myself, I'm always fascinated by people's processes. And I'm curious, what was your whole structure of creating this book? You would go up to somebody and just start talking to them, and then what happened next?
Yeah, so I would start, for example, one neighbor on the street corner. I was with my dog, and I told her my mom's story that I just shared, and it was so unexpected. And she said, "Oh, I've got a story for you. Come round for a glass of wine." And I would sit with them, record the conversation with their permission, and then I would probably sit with them for 1 to 2 hours. And then I would write up the story, and then a few weeks later, go back with them, sit with them with the printed story in front of them, and they would check it for accuracy, for maybe they'd overshared a little bit.
Yep.
So every story was vetted by the person who shared it to make sure that they were comfortable for this being in a book. And it was, as I say, such an uplifting process for me, and it helped me heal
Mm.
because this is the amazing journey. I call my book, it's a bit like Eat, Pray, Love. You know,
Mhm. Yep.
Elizabeth Gilbert's
Yep.
journey from a very dark place to finding love and joy and hope again. And it's also been compared, Publishers Weekly compared it to the New York Times column, Modern Love, a
Yeah.
collection of modern love stories and everything under that umbrella. So, so that was the process. As far as finishing the book, a lot of authors say to me, I can't finish. I've been working on this for 10 years. For me, dedicating the book to my mom, and she's now 93,
Mm.
that gave me this hard deadline I had
Yeah.
to finish last September. I said, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to bring it to you in Scotland. And that helped me get through it. Also, having writing partners. Every
Mhm.
Wednesday, we had a Zoom call and we would share my two writing partners were working on their memoirs. And so having that, deadlines, that really keeps you producing, keeps you finding that next story.
Yeah. How much of your story is woven through this?
Yeah, so my story and my mum's story is the thread that keeps these 30 stories together. I threaded my story initially reluctantly. I had the collection of 30 stories, and my writing partner said, "You need to be in this." So
Yeah.
I went back through and shared how each person's story impacted me. I learned about forgiveness. I learned that I'm not alone. I learned that what I was going through is similar to what other people are going through. I mean, some of the stories are really heartbreaking and yet uplifting. One of the ladies shared with me she'd lost a child.
Mm.
And as a mother, I just couldn't think of
Yeah.
anything worse than that.
Yeah.
And yet she had found purpose in the loss. She had found even gratitude for the loss. I mean, these stories are truly courageous and uplifting. It's just amazing.
What did you learn about yourself while you were doing this?
Well, I learned the book starts with a letter to my mom, and she always told me, when you're feeling down, do something for someone else. And I learned that that is absolutely true. I dedicated the book to my mom, and I did it for her. But I also learned that there's healing from talking to other people, listening to them intently. I've actually made friends, lifelong friends, as a result of this. I learned that I'm stronger than I am. I also learned that I'm more like my father, who was quite a depressive, than I realized. But I also found our common humanity. As I say, this, with everything going on in the world, I mean, so many of my friends are kind of depressed and like
Yeah.
so angry right now. But this book has been kind of a shelter for me. It's been my force for good, my putting good ripples into the world. Martin Luther King said, in the fight for justice, the greatest weapon, I'm paraphrasing, the greatest weapon is love. And that kind of, call to action, that that gives me so much energy, so much hope for the
Absolutely.
future.
Absolutely. So who would be the ideal reader for this book?
Well, book clubs are already reading it, and the conversations I've had at book events are incredible. People are telling me it's changed their lives. I
Mm.
had a mother and daughter. The daughter shared the book with her mother, and her mother's very, very conservative. And she shared it just for one story. She says, Mom, there's this Yogi David, and he changed my life. I want you to understand his story, where he came from a very hard start, brought up by teenagers,
Mm.
drugs and alcohol involved. And the mother said, I love that story. I want to keep the book and read all the other stories. And the daughter was like, Mom, you're not going to like it. There's gay love, there's trans love.
Mm,
And her mother said to her, I am open and ready to learn as a result of my book. And
wow.
that's the kind of feedback I'm getting. People are saying there are 4 or 5 stories about loss. And people are saying these stories are allowing their families to talk about loss and grief, and they're deepening relationships between families and friends because it's
Yeah,
suddenly allowing these conversations to happen. And yeah. So,
that's
yeah, definitely
amazing.
book groups, or anyone who's going through a tough time, anyone who's feeling lonely and feeling a bit disillusioned with life and wants some uplift.
Sounds amazing. Where can we buy this book, Allison?
So anywhere where books are found, I'm trying to encourage people to get it at their local bookstore if they
Mhm,
can. Our
mhm.
bookstores are so important, and
Yep,
supporting your local bookstore is the way to go. I get less money, but it doesn't matter. This is about getting this message of love and unity, and this message of you're not alone out there.
I love it. Well, it sounds like you're gonna have to maybe turn this into a podcast next, so we'll see.
Thank you. Yeah, people have said it might make a good Netflix series,
Yeah,
so that would be
absolutely.
amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we're really so happy you stopped by and you shared this, and it is so much of what we do over here, and I'm so excited to read it. It sounds like a perfect like weekend read, and you can just pick it up, and I always love to read while I'm eating dinner. So that's the perfect type of story to read there. We appreciate you so much. We'll put the link in the show notes. Thank you for coming by today, Allison.
My pleasure, Olivia. Thank you for having me.